Okay.
So with that, so now we have Captain America. He's
Oh, I
doing
did not expect that.
He's out of shape. He's the American dude, and he's fighting with a guy in a Superman mask.
So so what I'm supposed to take away from this is so Captain America is what, like the Democrats or something, and like who are the two sides in this fight?
Whoa, Rebecca Moore.
Hold on.
This video.
Yeah, I don't understand who these people in the bar are. So these are, I guess, they're just regular Americans, right?
Okay.
They're just there, and they're down on their, like, everything is sucking for them. They're overweight. They're doing drugs. They're fighting amongst themselves. This is all set up here, right? And then they get kicked out of the bar. I don't get. Why is Iron Man doing Tide Pods? And also, isn't Tide Pod, like, how long ago was that?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, that's like, to me, what first stood out. Like, this is kind of antiquated, like, boomer Facebook culture.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, millennials just love the Tide Pods. It's like it's hilarious to them.
And also,
never mind that joke hasn't been funny in like a year or two.
Yeah.
And beyond that, like, if you actually go and look into this, it's a total, like, false like, nobody ate a Tide Pod.
Well, it's also so antiquated, to your point, that I forgot. I didn't know that I was looking at a fucking Tide Pod. I thought there was like a Halls, like a Vicks Vapor Rub or something.
Again, Darren, this is why I had to do the explain. It's too deep. You just miss these very important little details that they throw in. Now we're at a scene where, and now I was very nice. I described this woman as an elitist, but it's very clear between us and the live cast stars listening at home. It's very clear this is a liberal elitist. It's very clear this is like Nancy Pelosi, which, you know, hey, I'm all for mocking Nancy Pelosi, but I mean, really, they're not really nailing it here.
Well, mocking her from the left is fine.
Yes.
I feel like this is going to be a takes about how she's a Marxist Alinskyite or something.
Right. So it's a older, I don't want to say older woman, but, you know, like a woman who's lived a few years, an experienced woman. But like very well put together, and she's like in a suit jacket, and she has an exempt pin with a bunch of stars on it reminiscent of the flag of China. And so, which again, it's like, oh, who is that supposed to be? Is that supposed to be a Republican or a Republican interpretation of what a Democrat is? You know, like how else can you interpret this? Okay, so what is she doing? Let's see here. She's very happy. There's a line of people, and she's going one by one and giving them all, this is for you, and she hands them a mask. And these people, they're so happy to get
it's almost
mask.
Like they're being knighted.
Yes. And this character proudly puts on his mask, and as a reward, he gets a compliant pin.
Oh wow, now they're not even pretending. It's just a hammer and sickle.
And this is really where I lost it. And this went from like, I'm suffering through this to I'm loving this. Where is this going next?
It amazes me that people, like literally both sides of American politics, will refer to the hammer and sickle. Like you have these right-wing type idiotic, demonizations of Democrats. And then on the other side, you have liberals like will go on MSNBC and say that Russia is taking over our country, our democracy, and they're both using the hammer and sickle of a country that has not existed for 30 years. How does this happen?
It's good branding.
And so okay, and also now, so like watching this scene, to me, it tells me, and maybe I'm misinterpreting, maybe it's too deep even for me. It paints the picture that they're coming at it from an anti-mask perspective or an anti-regulation perspective, like that we shouldn't be told we need to wear masks, which is already changing the argument to something that it shouldn't be, I think.
Right. Yeah. Rob, you used that image, I think, in your story art for this breakdown. Like, this was the first thing I saw on Twitter was, I think, a link to Metal Injection about this video. And I saw this image, that pin with the hammer and sickle. And I immediately went, oh, fuck, no, I'm not. Oh, are we allowed to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Courage.
Some shows you're not allowed. I just like, I'm not watching this. And it took me about a day, and I heard more from other people that it's hilarious and you got to see it. But like, as soon as I saw that, I kind of knew where it was going, because this kind of implies like it's not really about public health or any sort of collectivism. It's about we should have the freedom and liberty to do what we want. Well, we've seen how that's played out now. Like if this video came out at the onset, maybe that might be more understandable. But now, compared with the rest of the world, we see how this kind of like rugged individualism actually plays out in this moment. So it's very funny to see this come out this late in the year in the pandemic.